on the Newman Jets Audio Network. This is the Jetcast, the official podcast of Newman University Athletics, featuring exclusive interviews with coaches, players, administrators, and more. The Jetcast podcast is brought to you by South Central Ceiling and Paving, online at SCSEALING.com. Mel Hambledon Ford, Pepsi, Eck Agency, Donlinger Construction, Big Corner Creative, Dr. Brennan Lucas and Advanced Orthopedic Associates, Keystone Solid Surfaces, and by Overland Charters, the official transportation provider of Newman University Athletics. Here's the voice of the Newman Jets, Blake Cripps.
Newman baseball back for 2022. The season starts, well, it was supposed to start tomorrow, but the Jets are still trying to head south to avoid the winter weather, facing Southern Nazarene to open up the season. They will be playing on Saturday and Sunday now, doubleheader at 12 and 3 both days. So just a little bit of a delay, but they're going to try to avoid the winter weather and open up the baseball season in the Sooner State. Welcome to episode 58 of the Jetcast. Today we are previewing Newman Jets baseball with the head coach, Drew Mouse, now in his third year here in Wichita with the Jets. Coach, welcome back, and welcome to another baseball season.
Thank you.
Well, this year at Newman, coming off of last year's 9-23, 8-22 year in the MIAA, how excited are you to get started?
I am excited, cautiously optimistic for the season, and need to put the work ahead of us, but I'm excited to get going.
Looking at your tenure here, obviously your first year didn't really ever get off to the races and get a chance to really get into the coaching of that team. Where do you feel like you are in your program? I said the same thing to Coach Gustafson when I had her on. Do you feel like you're in like year 1.5 because you were set back with the time, or do you feel like you're closer to year 5 just because of all the adversity you've had to get through just to be able to coach this team?
I feel like we're in year 1, actually. The first year was going to be a difficult year just with getting hired so late and not being able to have a chance to recruit guys to come into the team. And then COVID hit, and we recruited. I thought we did a good job of recruiting and filling some holes, but then just COVID continuing through. I mean, last year I think our first 3 weekends were canceled because of either COVID or weather.
Well, not only that, you missed the entire month. You didn't play a single game in the entire month of February. Yeah. How did that set you back last year?
We opened up with the number 2 team in the country who ended up becoming the runner-up without playing a game. We started a freshman who had never pitched in college in game 2. And so I think that was, looking back on it, more of a recipe for disaster from the get-go. We didn't have our starting left fielder. So it was tough to get into a groove for sure. And, that's the one thing that I am excited about this year is that we have, at the very least, we have non-conference games to get us to figure some stuff out before getting into the MIAA.
We'll talk with the senior outfielder on this team, Tyler Push, coming up. Also, Coach McLeroy off the men's basketball team will join us here on this episode of the Jetcast. What was your priority for this program, given how the first 1.5 seasons had gone for you? What was your off-season priority for this team?
Get more talented, just across the board. I thought we had talent in some spots, but we needed more depth. Coach Ray has done a fantastic job, I think, of putting together a roster that complements the pieces that we have coming back and giving us a chance to compete in the MIAA. I mean, we've added arms. We've added some better defenders in the middle of the field. And he did a great job of helping to build this team and to hopefully competing every single game this year.
Who do you think are some of those key returners, either out of the bullpen or in the batting lineup, that you think are going to be big contributors for your team this year?
Obviously Tyler Push, Hayden Vanderpool, Connor Langrel are the 3 that I would point to immediately and say, like, I think they got a taste of over the last year of what it actually takes to be good. And they've worked very hard over the last 1.5 years to step up their game. And I think they know that what they want. I think they know what they want to happen, and I think adding the pieces that we have added allow us to get into a better position to make the conference tournament this year.
Tyler Push, an outfielder who hit .330 last year, what do you look to see out of him as he tries to take steps to further his career here in his last year as a Newman Jet?
I expect him to hit 500 with 20 home runs. No,
he's in the room, by the way, just off camera before his interview, just so you know.
I don't expect him to do anything more or less than what he did last year. I gotten on him a couple times so far this spring about not throwing away at bats. I think the big thing for him last year is that he didn't throw away at bats. Just going up there and swinging freely.
When you say throw away an at bat, what does that mean to you?
Not being focused on the deck and getting into the box, and just sometimes when you face a pitcher that you think you're better than, you don't really focus as much, and you fly out instead of getting a hit out of the at bat, or you swing at a bad pitch that should have been ball four, that type of thing. And I say something to him, and the next three at bats are really good. So with older guys like him, it's not so much mechanics or teaching, it's just making sure that the focus stays there the entire time.
Who are some newcomers off this team, whether it be new recruits or maybe some guys who are transferring into the program? Are there any newcomers that you think might be able to have an immediate impact and help you win games right here in year one as a Jet?
Half the roster. I think we brought back 12 guys from last year, so almost the entire team is brand new. Asher Fink, right-handed pitcher from Hill College. Andrew Preef, right-handed pitcher from Pima College in Arizona. Nate Dennison, a left-handed pitcher from Northeastern Junior College in Colorado. Garrett Vandeventer, left-handed pitcher from Cali.
So you guys went heavy on the JUCO route this year.
Yep. We have two new catchers to go along with Nick Caravello, Dalton Smith from Cali, Anthony Ferrante from Hill College, Jenner Steele, first baseman from Hutch, Zach Stewart is a shortstop from the University of New Mexico. I think having Lincoln Choate actually healthy this year. Last year he missed the entire year with an ACL injury. Gosh, I don't even know.
A lot of guys.
Just a lot of new guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, with so many guys coming in, you do have a lot of your former players that are currently on staff. Devin Beard, a couple of other guys. You've really added to your staff. What's it like to have those former players around as you try to build up your program here at Newman, and having a much bigger staff with you to try to do that this year?
Yeah, we have, I think there's 6 people now. I mean, myself, Coach Ray, Hunter Williams, one of our GAs who came from Emporia State. Devin Beard is a GA who was our starting shortstop last year. Ryan Morrissey, who came from University of Charleston and Heston, works with catchers and does our analytics. And then we have Alexis Stallard, who is our director of baseball operations. She's probably the MVP of the coaching staff behind Coach Ray.
Sure.
But yeah, having Devin here helps with the understanding of what I want, especially with infielders and base running and stuff like that. Hunter provides a great new perspective coming from Emporia, playing in Kansas, playing in the MIAA or coaching the MIAA. And then having a catching coach that can work with those guys day in and day out is very helpful with their progression and then our team chemistry.
One thing that you need to be aware of, obviously, is that the games have been moved back. Southern Nazarene is still going to be the season opener for the Jets down in Oklahoma, but it's going to be a Saturday-Sunday doubleheader series with both games, both days. The doubleheaders will start at noon down in Oklahoma. What do you look to see out of your team this weekend when they take on SNU?
I just want us to compete. I want our pitchers to throw strikes, compete in the zone. I want us to play better defense this year than we did last year. I think the first year when COVID hit, I think we were top 10, top 15 in the country in fielding percentage or something like that. And then last year I don't know what it was. We didn't field as well. And then we've gotten a little more athletic across the board and a little stronger. So being able to not have lulls in the offense where it's 2 innings of nothing, and then we have a 3-run inning and then 2 more run innings of nothing, that type of thing. So
later on this year, we'll publish our broadcast schedule. We will have some games on the Newman Jets Audio Network. Looking forward to having you guys out there and back on the network at McCarthy Field. Believe the plan is for 3 full MIAA series at McCarthy Field this year. So really looking forward to that. Final question for you, Coach. Goals for the 2022 season. What are they for your program this year?
I think we need to make the conference tournament. I think
top 8?
Yep.
Okay.
I think we have the arms to do so. I think we have enough of an offensive firepower, especially at McCarthy Field, where on any given day the wind can be blowing out to left at 40 miles an hour. And I think we've added enough junior college guys from really good programs and winning programs that will allow them to compete day in and day out. So that's my goal is to make the conference tournament, give them a taste of it, and hopefully build off of it from there.
Coach Mouse of Newman Baseball, once again, season begins this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, doubleheaders both days, starting at noon at Southern Nazarene. Coach, thanks so much for the time. Look forward to having you back on the Jetcast here soon, okay?
Appreciate it. We'll see you at McCarthy.
Tyler Push is coming up next, a big leader on this team, next on the Jetcast. Newman Baseball getting started this weekend. Doubleheader series Saturday, Sunday at Southern Nazarene. We're joined by a senior outfielder off of this Jet team from Fremont, Nebraska. Tyler Push hit .330 last year, ready for his final campaign with the Navy and Red. Tyler, great to have you on the show. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Off season for you, what was that like? How did you approach the off season going into this, your final trip around the bases with Newman Baseball?
The off season is always just getting to know the guys, new players coming in, and being the 5th year, there's not much returners here that have been here with me, but there's 4 or 5 that I've still played with since day one. And like I said, just off season is getting to know the new guys coming in and building that team chemistry and kind of seeing where you're going to lead going up to the season. But it's been a real grind and coming back, and obviously with COVID, you got to deal with a bunch of protocols and
sure
guys sitting out for 2 weeks, and so that's hard for one of our starters, Nate Dennison, had COVID, had to sit out for a few weeks before he came back and pitched. But it's been good. Weather obviously in Kansas can never count on.
Hard to predict, isn't it?
Yeah, so you just got to deal with the battles and just go in and know. You really got to focus and know what you want to get better on that day. So.
Well, last year you guys didn't play for the entire first month of the season. You came back, hit .330. How do you feel like the team dealt with the adversity in 2021? How do you feel like you dealt with it in 2021 personally?
Yeah, well, like I said, you really you can't plan on anything, whether it's weather in Kansas or COVID. You got to be ready to play each and every day, and whatever comes at you, you got to learn to face it and live with it and go out there and just try and win when we have the opportunity.
Last year you had to start late with no non-conference games. This year, even though these games are delayed to Saturday, Sunday, looks like you are going to get quite a few non-conference games in. What was the impact of starting late this year, and how happy are you to be able to get some of these February games played, hopefully, here in 2022?
Absolutely. Well, being in February, obviously, it's not the warmest, but
no, it's not.
It's going to be nice to get out and face another team. With this off season, it's scrimmages against your own guys, and you see them week in and week out. So, just getting out there and getting a new team, it's like you're hungry. You want to go play somebody else. So, I think we're going to be ready. I think we're ready to not play against each other, but rather play together and go win and go after somebody else rather than team.
In terms of
teammates.
Prepping for 2022, what did you do in order to work on your individual game coming into your final year?
As far as work goes on the off season and in the summer, you gotta prepare mentally, physically, even emotionally. Like with COVID, and things aren't ever set in stone, and I've been working outfield drills. We got a new outfield coach, so just working on those, keeping my body healthy is a big thing, and then just getting reps in on the off season.
What are some improvements that you feel like you would like to see yourself make even as we move through your last season this year?
I believe last season was probably my best season I've had in college. Like you said, 330. I think I had 5 home runs, which I've never really been a big power hitter, but hitting them, watching them go over the fence is quite fun. So. Well,
Coach says, I think he said 20 was his target for you this year?
Yeah, 500 with 20 bombs. That'd be nice, but, not kind of unrealistic, but I guess that's a goal we'll go for. And
sure.
No, but I'd really just, like he said, not try and do too much this year, and I just want to stay that leadoff hitter, get on base, steal bags, and score runs, and hit 330. If I poke a couple out, that'd be nice.
So the players obviously have got a lot of different interests that we have on the show, and for some people it's art. They've got other things that they do, extracurricular activities. You are actually the sports editor and one of the writers for the sports section of the Newman Vantage, the Newman school newspaper, published, let's see, that's a weekly, isn't it?
Yeah, it comes out every Thursday.
Every Thursday here on campus. How did you get into newspaper writing, and what interested you about trying to cover sports, and is that something you'd like to maybe stay in after you graduate?
Yeah. When I was little, I've always enjoyed writing. I got a few Young Author Awards, and for some of my stories about one of them, my mom listens, she'll like it. It's about my fish. I never cleaned its tank, and it always got green, but I won a Young Author Award for that, so that's kind of where my writing started. And then I got to school, and I needed an elective to just get my credit hours to stay eligible, and somebody introduced me to journalism, one of the past players here, and I gave it a chance, and I got into that. And our editor, Denise Neal, this will be my 3rd year for the Vantage, I think, but last year our sports editor was leaving. He transferred schools, so she enjoyed my writing and asked me to do it, and I was kind of skeptical about it. I didn't know how much work it would be, but I said, yeah, I'll give it a try. I said I was already writing for this Vantage anyway, so
sure.
And she's like, you'll get paid to do this, so I was like, well, it's money. Let's give it a chance. But no, I enjoy it. It's fun. It kind of gives me something to work on outside of school classes and baseball and that. It's just kind of like an escape route, but it's nice getting to talk to different coaches and kind of getting an insight on them. So.
And Denise Neal, of course, with the Wichita Eagle, the very popular Dining with Denise section, and she makes some appearances on local radio. What's it like to have her as a mentor?
Oh, she's awesome. Towards the end of the year, Christmas break, and at the end of the year, we always go out and have a party at her house, and she makes burgers, or we just sit around a campfire and talk a while.
Wow. So if she's a foodie, she writes the food. She is basically the food section at the Wichita Eagles, so I'm assuming pretty good cook?
Oh, yeah. Burgers were delicious.
Very nice.
Don't know if her husband made them, but they were delicious. And just got around with the staff, and we sat around a campfire and talked. And she's got a great personality. You know, she's real easy to talk to, easy to keep a conversation with.
Well, this is an interview. Obviously, you've had to learn some interview skills to do your job. How do you think this interview's going?
It's going all right. You know, some questions you just don't really know what to say, so you just got to blab on. But
I mean, it's a good question by me, right? That makes
Yeah.
you think.
no, but
So
yeah.
what would be, if you had to pick one job, and that would be like your dream beat for journalism, whether it be a newspaper, although, you know, there's so much of journalism moving online with things like The Athletic, you know, so it doesn't necessarily have to be a newspaper. You've got The Athletic or ESPN.com and all these big, you know, media conglomerates that have so many options in terms of viewership. What would be your dream beat? Is it to be a newspaper writer for a school, to work in a small town, to work on an online website? What do you want to cover?
I think it would be really cool. You know, the old famous Vin Scully, voice of the Dodgers. Just to be around the game of baseball, I think it would be real awesome. Be a radio broadcaster and just cover the games day in and day out.
Sure. Well, or you know, maybe be one of in the Baseball Writers Association. How about that?
Just anything covering baseball would be enjoyable. Because TJ.
Yeah, TJ
Cleveland just got on newscast. And
KWCH produced a lot of the Jet Insiders on the Newman Jets YouTube channel. You can check those out just after you get done watching this video. He's been a big part of that as well.
Yeah, but he really enjoys what he's doing now, and I think that's cool. He got just recently was down at Wichita State on the basketball court and kind of got to be on court and cover the game there. So.
Sure.
I mean, something like that, but involved with baseball would be really enjoyable.
Outstanding. Well, you're going to be involved with baseball coming up this weekend. Once again, doubleheader noon Saturday and Sunday at Southern Nazarene. Those games have been moved due to the predicted forecast for the middle of the week. That was going to make the natural surface here pretty unplayable. We are expecting. What are your goals for Jet baseball for 2022?
Your goals kind of got to be the same each year, in and out. End goal, obviously, Coach Mouse says, make the conference tournament, and you can have smaller goals to get yourself there, but team goals, obviously, we got to win each day. Last year, like you said, a bit of a struggle. We only won 9 games. I don't think we won a series all year, but, you know, we got preseason rankings came out. Obviously, not winning a series, you're going to be at the bottom, but I really, I think goes with a lot of guys that really gives us something to push for, and I think we're really out there to gain respect because there's nowhere we go now but up. So goals obviously just to go win each series and see where we end up.
Looking forward to covering this team on the Newman Jets Audio Network. We'll have that schedule posted later in the year after basketball, so you can check for updates, newmanjets.com, and of course that is the best place to stay in tune with the Jets this weekend as they open up the series and season against Southern Nazarene noon Saturday and Sunday, doubleheader both days. Tyler pushing his last year as a Newman Jet. Thanks so much for being on the Jetcast, sir.
Thanks for having me.
We'll wrap up the show talking men's basketball with Coach McLeroy, the assistant coach for NU Jets basketball, next.
Life. It throws you curves and it knocks you down. But what separates the good from the great is the getting back up. Newman University will always get back up. We are a university of doers, of innovators, of transformers. We inspire as we soar to new heights. We will not be beaten. We will not settle for anything less than the best. We are Newman University.
Where can you land the best Jet swag? The official online store of Newman University Athletics, NUJetsgear.com. Store features the greatest variety of Jets logo gear anywhere. The latest clothing styles and hats to Newman branded lawn chairs and office supplies and more. NUJetsgear.com is your place to purchase sports specific, alumni, parents, and hard to find Newman merchandise. Shop right now on your computer or phone. NUJetsgear.com or click the Shop Now button at NewmanJets.com.
Back to wrap up our Jetcast this week with men's basketball back at home on Thursday to play Fort Hays State University. 5:30 for the doubleheader. 7:30 the men will tip off at Fugate Gymnasium. You can, of course, listen to the game. Newman Jets Audio Network, newmanjets.com/listen. Pre-game coverage for the women begin at 5:15. Watch the games on the MIAA Network. We're joined by the first-year assistant men's basketball coach, Kyle McLeroy, who came to us from Dallas Baptist, of course, an old Heartland Conference rival of the Jets. Coach, great to have you on the show for the first time. How are you?
Great. Ready for the snow.
Yeah,
raised in Texas, not used to this.
Yeah, it sounds like as you are watching this here on this Wednesday, it's probably, I mean, who knows, but it might be real bad out, so I'm glad we're doing this today. That is for sure. Jets back in action on Thursday against Fugate Gymnasium, coming off of a loss against Emporia State. Coach, the first half of that Emporia State game I thought was maybe 20 minutes of the most entertaining basketball that I've gotten to call this year. You guys made some outstanding offensive plays in that first half, shot 63% from the field in that first half. How did that first half play out for you watching it on the bench?
Yeah, so coming back from Washburn, we watched that film and saw where there's some lack of continuity between when we sub in, sub out, and just some things we need to attack. And then obviously looking at Emporia, how they defended. They switched 1 through 5, so we knew we were going to be able to confuse them on some off-ball movement. And we had probably 2 of our best days of practice after that Washburn game, which was really good to see. And then we came in and we were aggressive. I thought our shot selection was very good. We were getting. We shot 63%. That means we're getting a lot of open shots, a lot of shots close to the rim. All of this, with Israel picking up those 2 early fouls. So when you have your leading scorer picking up 2 fouls a minute and a half into the game, but Brandon Bunn stepped up, Ian Lee stepped up, without Stevie Strong. So there was a lot of opportunities for guys to get in and contribute. I thought, again, shot selection was great. A lot of unselfish play. Everyone thinks of unselfish basketball with, passing to open guy, but another aspect is moving without the ball, because when you're cutting, you don't always get it, but your cut can then draw a defender to have a tag is, the term we use, so which leaves the guy next to you open. So a lot of unselfish movement, unselfish, body movement, unselfish ball movement. So it was really, really good to see.
Let's make one adjustment with you, Coach, real quick. Just go ahead and pull your boom out just a little bit from your mouth, give you a little bit more space there, and I'll turn you up there as well. Back to doing this with masks, unfortunately, this year, so that's the little background noise you heard. What's your first impression of being a coach in the MIAA for the first time, coming from the Heartland Conference and then Dallas Baptist while you were there, moving into the Lone Star Conference?
Yeah, so it's been really intriguing seeing the 2. When you're in the Lone Star, it's still everyone wants to talk about the MIAA and then the success that this conference has. It's very, very challenging. There's no games that
you don't circle a lot of wins on the calendar, do you?
A lot. 1 through 14, it's a dogfight. It's tough. There's a bunch of good coaches, bunch of good players, a bunch of good environments to play in. It's people make argument what's the best league in the country, and I've been in 2 of the leagues that get brought up in that discussion, and just the MIAA as a whole is just excellent, and it's tough. And it's really, really fun to know every Thursday, Saturday in conference you're gonna go out there and play against a really, really good team and see if you're up for it.
Yeah, it is definitely the best for a reason. Coach, as the lead assistant on this team, Coach R.J. Allen's second while he's been here as the Newman head coach. What do you feel like your role as a part of this program is?
Yeah, so I think it's really cool the way Coach Allen and I kind of work together. I think we have a lot of similarities in the way we see the game, the way we approach the game, but then there's just differences in our personalities, which I think is great to have. So he might see something one way, I might see something the other way, and we are really comfortable sharing ideas and thoughts together. But offensively is where I tend to hang my hat in terms of schematically in this game, and coming from a DBU program where last year we had a top 5 offense in the country. learning what I used there, as well as just learning our players, seeing how I can help us put the ball in the hole, and then recruiting. That was a big part of my role at DBU, and just getting out there, seeing guys, making sure we get the right pieces, right type of person, the right young men that we want to represent Newman, and hopefully in the next few years start cutting some nets down is always the goal.
Absolutely. Well, you come from a Dallas Baptist program that we're of course pretty familiar with, coming up against the Patriots several times, and Coach Flickner, when I was on the radio, was one of my better, I think, post-game coaches, opponents interviews. He's got a pretty big personality. Became a doctor over the time that we were covering him on the radio here for Newman Athletics. What did you learn from Coach Flickner, and what were his thoughts about you trying to come up and get the Newman job? I know that he and Coach Allen have a great mutual respect for each other.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of respect there, and in this industry, it's the relationships you build are how you get to where you are. So without Coach Flickner, without Coach Glennie, the assistant at Dallas Baptist, this wouldn't have been possible. So I played in college, then got out of basketball for about 4 years. Worked in mostly tech startups in the Dallas DFW area.
What pulled you back into basketball?
I love basketball. It's every season would roll around and I just get the itch.
Sure.
I was watching every game on TV. ESPN Plus was a great investment.
Yeah.
Tons of basketball to watch. So I missed it so much. I missed so much. And so what you do, you email, call every single person and just how it works. My coach at Sam Houston State had a good relationship with Ryan Glennie, the assistant at DBU. Opened that interview, and then I spent my 2 years as a graduate assistant at DBU. And what do you know? Coach Allen has a good relationship with Coach Flickner,
he does.
Coach Glennie, and that's how I'm here today. So, but at DBU, just learning this level, learning believe how to coach the right way, treat these young men as as more than just players, because
sure.
Especially with how with the transfer portal and the explosion of it, athletes, they can go find other coaches.
Right.
Like there's other coaches everywhere.
I think people think transfer portal is just a D1 thing, but it's not.
No, it's not. And so it's more than just basketball. It's getting these young men graduated. It's getting them ready to be future husbands, future fathers, future managers, future employees. And that's something that I really learned at DBU, is just instilling this more than just a game. Now this game has opened a bunch of doors and opportunities for us to be where we are. And it's why it brought us together, but there's no reason the relationship should just be that and in there.
So you guys have moved up here to Kansas, you and your wife Kimberly here to Wichita. How do you like the air capital of the world?
Love it. So funny story with that, actually. So Wichita is the smallest city she's ever lived in. So
wow. So where is she from?
Houston. So she's only lived in Houston.
Okay, so that's like the
Dallas.
Third biggest media market in the country. So
right. So we're looking at Wichita and air capital of the world. I somehow misread that it was air quality capital of the world. She has bad allergies. She was like, "Oh, great! I'll never have allergies again." Move up here. There's lived on the west side for like a couple weeks and then moved to the east side. So I've seen both. I can weigh in on that argument
sure.
too. There was like a ragweed just field behind us, and we looked and we're like, "Oh, this, I don't know, like the Wikipedia page might have got hacked or something."
Yeah.
Look up and it's one of the allergies are pretty common.
No,
here,
yeah,
so.
very common.
So,
yes.
Loved it. I really love it. I grew up on a cotton farm with like 2 neighbors within 5 miles. So
wow.
I've lived in that, then moved from there to Houston.
Okay.
So I've been everywhere in between, size-wise, and I love it. Food's good. I'm a huge foodie.
This is the great restaurant. I mean, this might be the restaurant capital of Kansas, possibly. What's a favorite that you or your wife have discovered here? Try, if you can, make it a local place, not a chain.
No, Sesame on the west side.
I haven't had
Sesame. It's on Mays Road, right by Target.
So I have not had that one.
Mediterranean food. Gyros are good. Kebabs are good.
Wow. Okay.
Really good people. Coach Allen tried it. I think it opened up this summer. Coach Allen tried it. Told me and Coach Fulfack to go on our first week up here. We drove over there. Loved it, and I tried to go as many times as I can. So Sesame.
So shout out to Sesame. I'll have to get out there and try that. I'm a Medis fan. I do like Medis. They have some pretty good gyros, gyros, however you want to say that food item. You mentioned what you were, how you got back into coaching. What aspect of coaching do you enjoy the most?
I don't know if I can pick one. It's,
is it just the relationship building?
Relationships, and then just the game itself. When you're done, when you're done playing, like everyone talks about, it's the bus rides you're gonna miss, it's the locker rooms you're gonna miss, and that was the same for me. Like my college career, I wasn't, just prolific basketball player by any means, but we were playing University of New Orleans, and we won. Came back, coach got us pizza for like the 20th time that week. So we're like, okay. We scrounged up however much money we had in our wallets, got some Chinese delivery food, and about 6 of us, all from, me from, suburban Houston, my teammate from Lithuania, teammate from Brooklyn, teammate from here in Wichita, all just teammate from El Paso, all in a room together. If it wasn't for basketball, we'd have nothing common, but it brought us together, and we were just watching the NBA game, eating Chinese food, and that was my favorite college basketball memory.
Wow.
So just opportunities for stuff like that to happen.
Well, one thing that we do try to do on the Jetcast is go off the normal line, and learn just before the interview here today that you're actually a bit of a professional wrestling fan, and I believe the Royal Rumble just occurred this past weekend. Obviously, one of the major pay-per-views each year on the WWE calendar. I did not watch. I have not watched. 8th grade me would have been all over that.
Yeah.
It's not something that I partake in anymore, but how was the card, and how did things turn out?
Interesting, very interesting. So, I still doing my duties. I had Emporia State on my laptop.
Still studying basketball.
Still working on that. And my wife was very, very excited to know that it already came with our Peacock subscription.
Oh.
No extra.
Is she a fan as well?
No, she is not. She is not.
She doesn't want you to pay extra for
and her mother and grandmother are in town. So
wow.
I was trying to get them into it. No, it was great. The Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar saga is still going.
Who won?
Okay, Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar is about to win F5, but accidentally.
That's his finishing move.
Actually knocks the ref out.
Oh, no.
No one to be able to get a count. So.
Huge controversy.
Huge controversy. But then Roman Reigns comes out, knocks out Brock.
Oh.
Bobby wakes up.
Ref is
Great
there.
timing. Ref's there.
Wow.
So that was in a singles match. Now fast forward, Royal Rumble comes out. Guess who comes out 30th in the last entry? It's Brock Lesnar.
Wow.
So, setting up.
Of course.
It's going to be a great WrestleMania, Dallas, Texas, sometime this year.
You going?
No, I'm not. I don't think my wife would approve of that. We did go when WWE SmackDown was here in Wichita.
Okay.
If you want to run it back, you could see me and
Nice.
me and Zach there, third row.
Your favorite wrestler, the one that you follow?
All time or currently?
You can give me one of each.
Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
Wow.
Some sweet chin music is
one of the all-time classic theme songs probably in the history of the sport.
It is. Hometown San Antonio, Texas.
Of course.
We got to throw Stone Cold in there as well.
Changed the game forever.
Currently, man, it's tough. Brock is just seeing him go from an entertainer to UFC heavyweight champion, back to entertainer, and then seeing him in person and realizing how freakishly huge.
Yeah, he's a huge man. It's amazing to think that he was actually a college wrestler.
Like, you
at one
look
point.
at his body and you're like, that man was made to hurt someone.
Yes, he was, and he has.
He has.
Well, final question for you. Let's get back on the topic of basketball. Fort Hays State coming in on Thursday. The Tigers and the Jets have played some really, really tight games. They got the upper hand on you there at Hays. What do you need to do as a team to try to turn that around this time?
Yeah, so it was a really weird game last time. Not sure if you're aware, but we had the bus fire incident the day before.
Yeah, we do recall that.
Had the bus fire the day before. Israel Barnes was still nursing his injury. David Jaworski was still nursing his injury. So we had 2 starters out. And so it'll be good to go full strength. They have they're a really good team. They're 15-3, I believe. One of the best teams in the country. It's crazy in this league. You can be 4th place and be one of the best teams in this country, whatever place they're in. But good guard play, efficient guard play, and then one of the best forwards. Jared Vitzum's averaging 15 and 10. Really good player. We have to just do our jobs. Focus on what we can control. The details that we instill in this game plan, and just play hard.
Kyle McLeroy, he is the head coach, the assistant men's head coach for men's basketball, and the Jets are taking on Fort Hays State coming up on Thursday. Once again, 5:30 doubleheader coverage, 7:30 tip-off, pregame 5:15. Listen on the Newman Jets Audio Network, newmanjets.com/listen, on the Newman Athletics app. You can get it on your mobile device, and of course, watch it on the miaanetwork.com/Newman. Coach, great to have you on. We'll have you back. Thanks so much.
Sure. Thank you.
That's our show for this week. We'll be back with another show next week talking women's basketball. So we'll see you then. So Blake Cripps saying good night from Wichita.